Guys, did you ever stop to think, and maybe you haven't, but I have. Have you ever stopped to think about all the things your body does in a day without you ever even have to think about it doing, right? Let's talk about the autonomic nervous system. Hang tight. Guys, all right, let's talk about the autonomic nervous system. And I'm gonna try to make it somewhat interesting, okay? So this is all about, your breathing, your heart rate, your blood pressure, your blah 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 blah, everything, your digestion, everything that it takes for your body to function during the day that you don't even have to think about it because autonomic nervous system takes over, baby, okay? All right, now this is broken down into two branches, okay? We're talking about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Let's talk about this, okay? All right, so very, very basically, okay, your sympathetic nervous system, it starts in the spinal cord, okay, and it's really over, it regulates the rhythm of the heart and the breath and the flow of blood throughout your body, and it's, helps us to take action, so fight or flight, right? You don't know whether to cut a hoe or, slap a bitch, you don't know what to do or just run. So that's the startle, that's whenever you're startled. um and that's very, very good. If the system is working well, that's what it looks like, okay? Now, we move out of this, SNS a lot, the sympathetic nervous system, just all throughout the day, and it's very normal. It could be a little thing at work like, "Oh my god, my deadline," or, "Jeez, I gotta get this done before whatever," or you go to fall down the stairs, okay? Or I don't know, you're driving along and somebody does something stupid and cuts you off, okay, fight or flight, okay? That is your SNS, your sympathetic nervous system. All right, now, when we hit that stressor, that very short, rapid onset, um, and it only lasts a very short time, the sympathetic nervous system, um, it turns off your hormone levels when the stressor's over and you go back. You go back to normal. My bad. you know, and you're just like, okay, let's just do this, and we're good for the day, or good for the moment anyway. But we move in and out of those a lot during the day. If you ever thought about it, I never really thought about it until I started all this stuff. So that is in a nutshell, your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight. Okay, now hang tight. If the stressor is long, we're talking trauma, repeated, long drawn out. It could be work, it could be somebody around you, it could be whatever. But if it's consistent, then it turns into your survival mode, and that's not good. Okay? Um and it kind of sends you into hyper arousal, and it throws you above your window of tolerance, and you're like, "Ah," it's not good. Okay? Um this is the point where we want to move away from the threat, whether it's real or perceived, or what we think is a threat or whatever. Our breathing rate stays up, our blood pressure goes up, all that good stuff, right? We could experience anger, rage, anxiety. You could be fast to blame other people, or you could just disconnect, which is, I feel like, what a lot of what society does today. A lot of people just disconnect because it's easier. Okay, now let's talk about the second branch, which is your parasympathetic. It's a lot of stuff. Your parasympathetic, okay, and nervous system. All right, it's made up of the vagus nerve. Okay, so an interesting fact is the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the body. I mean, it travels. It's called the wanderer. Why? Because it's the longest one in your body. All right, and it's everywhere. Okay. Now, it is a two it's like a two-lane road, right? Okay, so one information is going, and then it's saying blah blah blah, okay, and it sends that answer back. So it's like a two-lane highway, right? Okay. Now, so it's 80% of the information is going from your body to the brain, and only 20% of information comes back from the brain to your body. Kind of doesn't seem even there, does it? But that's okay. Okay, because we're going to talk about this. Because the vagus nerve is actually split into two parts. All right. The ventral vagus nerve and the dorsal vagus nerve. So you got ventral, which is up, and dorsal, which is down. Okay. So from the diaphragm up is your vagus, or is your ventral, and the dorsal is from the diaphragm down. Okay. Now, it's kind of like the social network. I kind of like to call it the social network, because the ventral vagus nerve is control of all verbal and nonverbal communication. Has to do, it goes two ways, receiving and sending, and it has a lot to do with facial expressions. I'm pretty sure mine is somewhat damaged somehow because I'm always looking mad, but I digress. um, and also, it's about breathing and turning your head in all different directions, like a swivel, right? Head tilts, all that stuff, right? Forward, backward, all that. Okay. Vagus nerve, ventral. Okay. Now, um, it connects the heart, the lungs, and the pharynx, that nifty little muscle line space that you know hooks your nose to your mouth to your voice box. Yeah. So in breath work, that works out really well because nose breathing is very calming, and it stimulates the ventral vagus nerve. Okay. Now, when it's working like it should, okay, your breath should be deep and slow. You're all relaxed. The heart rate should be slow, and you should be nice and chilling like a villain. Okay. Um, you should be able to chill enough to find and check out options for all situations. So, say somebody falls in front of you, instead of startling so badly, you could just look at it and say, I wonder how I can help this person. Or do I need to call an ambulance? You're not going to panic. Like, oh my gosh. I say if I fall, just leave me lay. I'll get up on my own. Don't make a big deal out of it. Okay. But it helps you be able to solve problems. It helps you be able to search for options. And that's really good. You should be able to communicate in a clear and gentle manner. Okay. So basically it's it's your chill mode. It's like I'm sitting here talking to you. Okay. And you feel safe and protected. Like in your nice little bubble, you're like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm chill. No threats, you know. So the ventral vagus has, because of the connections to the nose and the voice box, like I said, is very good for breath work because nose breathing is very calming. We can get that back down if you need to do breath session after being startled. Deep breaths through the nose and out through the mouth is extremely calming to that nerve. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about the dorsal ventral, the dorsal vagus, sorry, the dorsal vagus, which is from your diaphragm down. All right. We're talking about, because it does its magic from the diaphragm down, we're looking at the digestive system, thus the phrase rest and digest. Okay. All right. Okay. If it's healthy, you'll feel great. Okay. You'll be in homeostasis. The dorsal vagus shifts you very much into that survival mode, though, if you need it. Okay. Um, and it puts you in hypoarousal, which is below the window of tolerance. So if you're either going to like blast above it and go apey, or you're going to go below it when a threat is perceived, and you're going to shut down, numbed, not wanting to talk to anybody, just shut down, can't find words. Okay. Um, you'll kind of be like a robot, if that makes sense. You just not present. Okay. It's kind of like, uh, the lights are on, but nobody's home, that type of thing. Not saying you're stupid. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's, everything's going on in the house, but like nobody's there because you've done shut down. Okay. You're just a robot. Um, everything slows down. Your heart rate, your breathing, your belly and gut could end up having problems. You feel again very disconnected and numb and so on. You get the point, right? Okay. You might feel ashamed, or you might have brain fog or withdrawal, hopelessness, overwhelm, abandonment, and you don't feel worthy. Okay. So both the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system work together, right? Boop. All right. To adapt and overcome. Okay. It all works in one nice little system. Okay. So in breath work, when, we find the tools to manipulate that vagus nerve to be to your benefit, um, to either energize you and excite you, or to slow you down and chill. It's all about stimulating the vagus nerve. Okay. Whether it's ventral or dorsal. And it's all in the breath patterns. So that's basically the autonomic nervous system. It's kind of a lot, I know. Maybe just sit and think about that for a little bit before you do anything else. Okay? And remember, you are loved, you are special, you are number one, and you are everything. You are number one, honey. Okay? All right. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.